Time for another game. Alrighty, we got a pretty good opponent here. Kyoso, 31. Good luck to you. Draw. Black Cat is draw. Apprentice is draw. That requires you to trash high value cards to get the draw. And then Exorcist can gain you cards that draw. For example, Imp is like a laboratory. It's a bit more of a restricted laboratory though. It's +2 cards, and it does have this functional +1 action effect, which is that it allows you to play another action card from your hand. The restriction is that you have to have not played a copy of that before. So you can't just spam Imps, otherwise you'll run out of unique targets. But Imps in moderation can functionally be laboratories. And then lastly, Will-O-Wisp. It's a cantrip that checks the top of your deck, and if it's 2 or less, puts it in hand. These do work really well on Mass, kind of the opposite of Imps. They get better at drawing because the more Will-O-Wisps you have in your deck, the more targets you have for Will-O-Wisps to draw. Action. Crown is action, and the same way Throne Room is, because it's basically Throne Room that can also be played on treasures. And Ghost is action. Again, you can trash something to get Ghost, and then Ghost is again a function of the Throne Room variant. So this is also an action the same way Throne Room is. No, and the way you get these, they're not in the supply. You have to trash a card from your hand, and you can gain one of these if the card you trash is more expensive. So Exorcist can gain us those things. Trashing. Priest can trash. +2 coins, trash something. Spice Merchant can trash. Treasures only. Prince can trash. We have plenty of trashing. Treasurer can trash. Salvager can trash. Okay, so we have lots of ways to trash here. We got a minor attack in the form of villain. That's not going to be significant, I don't think. And then Tactician. This could be relevant here. So I'm going to go ahead and open real fast so I don't hold them up. I'll just take a silver. I'm not really sure. I probably, if I hadn't spent so much time, explaining the kingdom, I probably would have thought a little bit more about the opening. There's a lot of plausible forecasts here. They all trash. They're all good openers. Any of these is potentially good. And Transport. We haven't talked about this yet, but you can exile an action card from the supply, or put an action card that you haven't exiled into your deck. So also a plausible opening would be on a 3/4 or 4/3 opening. Spend one of them exiling via Transport a key 5-cost card, and then the other one unexiling again, and you get a 5-cost card on the top of your deck. And there's definitely some 5-cost cards here you could plausibly want to open with. I want to take the the Exorcist, on the grounds that we saw that a lot of the key engine pieces, I think, are like Imps and Will-O-Wisps, and so I definitely want to have those. I definitely want a Spice Merchant as well, because Exorcist will be very... Oh, I was about to say Exorcist is very good for trashing estates, because it gains Will-O-Wisp off that, but it's not particularly good at trashing coppers, because copper already costs 0, and so you won't get any of these, because there's none that cost, or could cost less than copper. And so my dismayed reaction was because as I was explaining that, I noticed that I drew my Exorcist with no estates in hand. Sad days. So we got our Spice Merchant. Do we want a second Spice Merchant? I think that's reasonable. Like we said, we don't want to be trashing our coppers with Exorcist, so I wouldn't mind getting a second Spice Merchant, get the coppers out of the way real fast, and then I can sacrifice that Spice Merchant to the Exorcist for, like, say, an Imp or something. So I think I'm going to try that. One consideration is Tactician is a card that, on the face of it, you are basically sacrificing one turn to have a really good turn next turn, because you have to, like, discard your entire hand. And then you get +5 cards, +1 action on the next turn, which is really, it can be worth it on its own just to do that. But Tactician can be really good if you can build a deck where the payload is mainly actions, because you can play the actions for coin, like let's say treasure, get +3 off of treasure, before you play your Tactician. Then you play Tactician, discard whatever's left, and you have 1 or 2 cards, and then you get an excellent next turn, but you didn't really have to sacrifice your current turn. One more thing we still haven't had a chance to talk about, Way of the Horse. You can return an action card to its pile to make a laboratory effect. And basically it's like literally like the card horse. I'm going to do that here with my Black Cat because I want to draw on, and I really wanted to find my Exorcist, which is somewhere way down at the bottom. I'll take Treasurer, I guess. I know. Maybe. I don't know what I want yet. Crown can be good. Yeah, wow, this is my Spice Merchant and my Exorcist. The 2 cards I really wanted to see. Tough call. buy a crown. There's plenty of good targets for it. I could crown my Spice Merchant, crown my Will-O-Wisp. Either this is good. You can't crown Exorcist because it's not an action nor is it a treasure. Crown can play either actions or treasures, but this does not fall in either category. I would love to play my Exorcist twice though. I think I will crown the Spice Merchant. Well, I'll be darned. This time I drew all of the actions and none of the coppers. Alright, do we just send the Spice Merchant back with the horse? I guess if that's what it takes to continue the turn. Sad. Didn't want to do that, really. Okay. So now we're getting low-ish on payload, so I'll probably take a treasure for the coin. Okay. Need to start believing in the heart of the cards. We can get better draws than this. They have they have 3 crowns, that's good. Crowns are a good card. And they're hitting 8 already? 10 already, wow. Yeah, too early for province, I think. If you're hitting 8, that's just a sign, not that you should buy province, but a sign that you should get plus buy. Okay, so we can crown the treasure, take the key. The key is this little thing that just gives you an extra coin every turn, but only one person can have it. So next time they play the treasure, they can just like take it back. I'll play treasure a second time, trash a copper, and I shall buy a salvager priest. This is plus buy. I think I want the Tactician's also plus buy. Look at that. Tactician was going to be bad too early because you play your Night Phase cards after the Tactician would have resolved. So if I play my Tactician, I have to discard Exorcist without playing it. But I've now trashed most of the key cards I wanted to trash to Exorcist, namely my estates. And so I'm now kind of fine playing Tactician, if need be. Well, I can't play both of these. I could have played both of these if my crown were not on the bottom of my deck. So we talked about how crown can be a village. An example would be if I had my crown in hand, I could have crowned one of the Will-O-Wisps. Then you get +1 card, +1 action twice. The net result is +2 action. And then I could have played treasure and Tactician. Alas, I cannot do that, so it's just going to be one of them for me. I'm going to take a copper back now. I think I'm over trashed, and I want the ability to trash that to Spice Merchant, I think. Yeah, that's a little bit overly daring. Another crown. No, I won't. I want priest. That's going to be my main payload, I think. So the goal here, I think, is going to be to build a deck that plays one Tactician at the end of each turn for the extra draw type stuff, and then plays a priest towards the beginning of the turn, and then just trashes a bunch of stuff. Because the way priest works is you get +2 immediately, and then every time for the rest of your turn, not including the priest trash, you trash another card, you get +2 again. And so if I can get like 1 or 2 priests in play, and then trash some other stuff with other cards, I can get huge amounts of money. My plan, I think, is going to be to gain some treasures back from the trash with Treasurer, and then sacrifice them to like Spice Merchant or Salvager for the plus buy, and then I'll also be getting money off the priest play. That's an ambitious deck, and given our draws at the moment, we might be a little bit slow to be building it, but we can try. Okay. So our treasure is down there. We want that, I think. We definitely want to play something. Let's just take the key back. Maybe we don't play the Tactician yet. Maybe it's not time for that. Maybe it is time for that. I mean, if I play this, I can't really buy a whole lot of anything. I need another crown, probably. That's what I need. Because I need more action. I can buy a copper. Trash this, get an imp. I'm not sure if this deck will come online in time. I think this deck should beat what they're doing. 7, 8 times out of 10. But Treasure is not a bad big money card. And they're just going to play a very simple deck that gets provinces pretty fast. We have not had the draws we wanted to beat it, I don't think. Let's crown this again. Play. Okay. So we're going to want to trash first with this, second with this, points by, play the Tactician. Alright, now we're in a good spot again, I think. Tactician, gain a copper. So we got our deck up and running. We'll add payload, but it's probably just going to be a little too slow. Yeah, so I think they recognized, you know, they're not going to win in the long game. They're going to win by getting the provinces pile empty quickly, and so they're willing to cannibalize their deck a little bit, like giving up their priest with Way of the Horse if it gets them a province in the short term. They just want to get a quick province lead before my deck can finally get going. Because I'll eventually be able to buy like 2 or 3 provinces a turn, but that's not going to matter if there's not 2 or 3 provinces left to buy. Okay, so we're going to crown, priest twice. Right? Yeah, gotta be priest twice. Trash. Play. Gain 2 coppers back. Play. Take the key. I don't actually quite have enough actions. I need that 3rd buy from the spice version. So that indicates that you get another crown. And another treasure. Yep, so they're just sending all their actions back. Get the immediate effect of an extra laboratory play. And they're hoping to get, I don't know, probably 6 provinces is enough to make them safe. This looks good. Duchy doesn't scare me as much. I hope they don't have any more money in hand, they just haven't played yet. All right, maybe we have a fighting chance. Okay, so draw. Oh wait, we have all 3 crowns, which is what we wanted. So we're gonna crown. I don't think we need the will-o-wisp much anymore. Let's just gain the coppers back first. Play. Play. Trash. Play trash. Get the buys. Play trash. Going by again. Can't play that last treasure. Okay, maybe I have a good shot now. We can get this deck running in time. 2 provinces now. And another crown and another black cat, maybe? I'll probably play the black cat as a Way of the Horse, because there'll only be 1 more turn. Oh, this is a nice place to have it. I'll get to curse them too. So if they buy 1 province here, they'll get a curse, so they'll be down to 24, but then they'll be up again to 30. So I would need to get a province to 18, sure, and 4 duchies, so that's hard. So I don't think we're definitively in this yet by any stretch. I think they might have to dub 1 more time. Well, that's duchy, so that's a dud. Yeah, we're fine now. We can just take 2 provinces and duchy and an estate. That seems quite possibly doable. So now we go crown, 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 crown. We'll have 4 pies, right? We need 2 provinces, duchy, estate to win, because that'll be 24 from 2 provinces. Duchy ties it up, estate wins it. I might need to get 2 duchies if they happen to have their black cat on top, because that would curse me. But let's see. So get these treasures back. I need to feed those to Spice Merchant and Priest. Play treasures. Play the crown again. We probably want to play this one twice again. Take the copper. Play. Take the copper. Play. We'll play the priest twice. We don't really need the tactician anymore, I don't think, right? We can kill that. Play. We also don't need this anymore. We can kill that. And we can now crown the Spice Merchant. Coins buy. Play. Coins buy. Hey, we got it after all. Well, that was nice. Okay. Okay, so takeaways. Yeah, so as much as I often talk about how you shouldn't get worried when there's big points lead, I certainly got worried there. I should have taken my advice. Their deck did look really strong. You know, they were scoring tons of points, but they did, I think, go for provinces a little too early. Treasure is a really good big money card. I mean, it scores 3 on its own. You can take the key, which helps you, score an extra point, which can help hit 8 when you're otherwise hitting 7. And that last turn or two, you can just take a copper back to hit 8. So, treasure or big money is not bad. It's nothing to just, laugh at. But, there was plenty of engine components in this kingdom they could have built. I think this strategy should definitively win, given better draws. I think we had some rather unfortunate draws at the start. Other key takeaways, I think this game demonstrates how the Double-Tactician deck can work. You just build a deck that scores all of its money in the action phase, and then you get these big turns with 10 cards in hand, 2 actions to start with that are very likely to go off. And so it's definitely something to aim at if you can do it. I think this also demonstrates how Crown can be a source of plus action. We played 2, so we're getting like 4 Treasurer plays per turn, 2 Priest plays per turn, a Tactician play, 2 Spice Merchant plays, and there weren't any cards that said like plus action. But the reason we were able to do that was just because we got crowns, which are basically throne rooms, and just chained them together. And so what we're basically doing was taking one action and using that to play the first crown, which then plays the second crown, which then plays the third crown, which then plays the fourth crown, and then all those end up playing 4 actions, and all that stemming from that very initial crown play. And so you're spinning like one action and getting a ton of plays of a ton of action cards. So certainly, cards like Throne Room, Crown, Royal Carriage, King's Court, all the variations on Throne Room can be quite good villages, and can be enough to sustain a big engine.